Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Atame deva sammoham apakrishnam tvamarhasi yo avagraho aham mameti iti yo avagraho aham mameti iti etasmin yojitastvaya. Yes.
Atavideva sammoham apakrishnam tvam adhasi yo avagraho aham mameti etasmin yojitastvaya.
Atavideva sammoham apakrishnam tvam adhasi yo avagraho aham mameti tasmin yojitastvaya. Atmedeva sammoham apakrishnam tvam adhasi yo avagro aham mameti etasmin yojitastvaya.
Atha now may I, Deva, O Lord, sammoham, delusion, apakrishnam, to dispel, tvam, you, arhasi, be pleased, yaha, which, avagraha, misconception, aham, I, mama, mine, iti, thus, etasmin, in this, yojitaha, engage, swaya, by you. Now be pleased, my Lord, to dispel my great delusion. Due to my feeling of false ego, I've been engaged by your Maya and identified myself with the body and consequent body relation. Now be pleased, my Lord, to dispel my great delusion. Due to my feeling of false ego, I've been engaged by your Maya and I identified myself with the body and consequent bodily relations. Yes, Supreme Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The false ego of identifying one's body as oneself and of claiming things possessed in relationship with this body is called Maya. In Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, the Lord says, I am sitting in everyone's heart, and from me come everyone's remembrance and forgetfulness. Devahuti has stated that false identification of the body with the self and attachment for possessions in relationship to the body are also under the direction of the Lord. Does this mean that the Lord discriminates by engaging one in his devotional service and another in sense gratification? If that were true, it would be an incongruity on the part of the Supreme Lord. But that is not the actual fact. As soon as the living entity forgets his real constitutional position of eternal servitorship to the Lord and wants to and wants instead to enjoy himself by sense gratification, he is captured by Maya. This capture by Maya is the consciousness of false identification with the body and attachment for the possessions of the body. These are the activities of Maya, and since Maya is also an agent of the Lord, it is indirectly the action of the Lord. The Lord is merciful. If anyone wants to forget him and enjoy this material world, he gives him full facility and not directly, but through the agency of his material potency. Therefore, since the material potency is the Lord's energy, indirectly it is the Lord who gives the facility to forget him. Devahuti therefore said, my engagement in sense gratification was also due to you. Now kindly get me free from this entanglement. By the grace of the Lord, one is allowed to enjoy this material world, but when one is disgusted with this material enjoyment and is frustrated, and when one sincerely surrenders unto the lotus feet of the Lord, then the Lord is so kind that he frees one from entanglement. Krishna therefore says in Bhagavad Gita, first of all, surrender, and then I will take charge of you and free you from all reactions of sinful activities. Sinful activities are those activities performed in forgetfulness of our relationship with the Lord. In this material world, activities for material enjoyment, which are considered to be pious, are also sinful. For example, one sometimes gives something in charity to a needy person with a view to getting back the money 4 times increased. Giving with the purpose of gaining something is called charity in the mode of passion. Everything done here is done in the modes of material nature, and therefore all activities but service to the Lord are sinful. Because the sinful activities, we become attracted by the illusion of the material attachment, and we think, I am this body. I think of the body as myself and of bodily possessions as mine. Devahuti requested Lord Kapila to free her from the entanglement of false identification and false possession. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Sarasate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Atame Deva Sammoham
Atme deva sammoham
Apakrishtam Tamarhasi
apakrishtam tvam arasi
Yo Avagraho Aham Mameti Iti Etasmin Yodita Swaya. Now we please, my Lord, to dispel my great delusion due to my feeling of falsehood. I have been engaged by your Maya and identified myself with the body and consequent bodily relations. Just give me 1 minute. We'll just change. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. What happened? 9 we missed. Ayush? 9 shloka we have not done? Oh yeah. Hare Krishna. Just give me 1 minute. I'm setting your. Type. It is fine and clear. Okay, fine. Chalo. So, body. Today's topic is identification with the body. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, somebody was telling, I was taking some other class yesterday. So the Bhagavad Gita begins with Sankhya. It says about, so we should discuss. Mayavadis, they only talk about Sankhya. That is fine, because the first 20 verses talk about separation of body and soul. Krishna refers to that as Sankhya, not elaborate division into 24 elements in the beginning. That happens in the 13th chapter. But that bridge, if you are using Sankhya as a bridge, should land somewhere. You can't take bridge in the air. Finally, it should land in the devotion service. If you're studying Sankhya and not that Sankhya generally that people study today, Mayavadis, they study Nirishvara Sankhya, in which there is no glorification of the Lord. There is not even recognition of God's existence as separate from the soul. They study 24 elements and the soul, that's it. And what is God? I am God. This kind of thing is not going to help us. This kind of Sankhya is useless, is a waste of time. Nirishvara Sankhya is a waste of time, which Mayavadi studies. So we are not studying that today. We are studying in a light of devotion service. Now, we see that in the chapter 13, Krishna talks about Kshetra and Kshetragna. Body as a field, and the soul as Kshetragna, the knower of the field. This is the first element in education. When you educate somebody, and for this you need schools and colleges. Today we have schools, and I've spoken about this millions of times. Today we have schools and colleges for teaching skills. For that, you do not need schools and college. They can go to factory directly. Don't waste their time. In fact, at least engineering, I know, is a 4-year of vacation. And therefore, they learn smoking, drinking, womanizing, because there is nothing to do. Why don't you put them directly into the field? It'll be better. At least they will not learn simple activities. They can do some practical activity. So for teaching skills, for skills, you don't need a college, classrooms, no. They can be on, because it is Shudra. There is no, in the Vedic time, common sense, for Shudra, there was no college. Shudra can directly go to the field. Just like you want to learn how to make a pot. He didn't go to college. He can sit with his father and learn how to make a pot. Why he has to go to college and waste his time? Even Krishna, even Vaishya doesn't need a school and college. Krishna go to school and college? No. Because as a child, he was just milking. Now you have to learn milking cows. क्या करोगे college में जाके? नहीं, इतने बड़े थन होते हैं, छोटे भी होते हैं, बड़े भी होते हैं. क्यों दिमाग खराब करो उनका? 25 तरह की गाय होती है. क्या कर रहे हो ये सब समय बर्बाद? वहीं पे सिखाओ ना, साथ में, है ना? देखिए गाय है, इसका वहीं पे सिखाते हैं. Just like if you have seen the Marwadis, they never put their children in schools and colleges. They know it's a waste of time. अंत में उसको business ही करना है. If you've gone to the shops, you will see 10, 12-year-old small boys, when father is absent, gone to the wholesale market, they manage the retail shop as good as the father. Itne ka milega. You've seen that or not? They don't put the children in school. They know it's a waste of time. अगर उसको business ही करना है तो school college में जाके क्यों समय बर्बाद करना? What's the use? Why waste their time? So for learning the skills as there in the profession today world is only Shudras and Vaishyas. You do not need. You need college or school when you are able to teach the first subject that we are not the body. That is knowledge. You do not, today what happens, skill is misidentified as knowledge, and we waste our time teaching skills in the name of knowledge. So let us not waste our time. So we go to the Vedic University now, and the first element in the Vedic University of knowledge is we are not the body. Understand the subject matter and appreciate it. This is what being understanding. Kshetra, Kshetragna. The knowledge begins there. Now, Devahuti wants to be educated, and therefore she is asking from basics. My Lord, it is because she is referring her child as the Lord, because age is not a criteria in the Vedic culture. Now, she is mother, or any child can educate the mother. Mother will not like to listen. है ना? तू बताएगा मेरे को, सीधा बोलेंगे ना. If a child goes to father, mother and say, I want to teach you are going to teach me, they will not listen. You see, even Shukamuni was only a small boy, 16, 18-year-old. At the time, he spoke Bhagavatam. His father was sitting in the assembly, much elder. His father's guru was sitting in the assembly, Narad Muni. His guru's guru, Ashoka Muni. They are also sitting. And all sages sitting, which are all of them practically learned, and at least 20, 30 years elder than Shukamuni. All great sages which has come to help Parikshit Maharaj. But as Shukamuni entered, only a small boy, everybody just stopped. Let us hear him. They know he is not ordinary personality. Shuka is the parrot of Radharani. He has an eternal constitution position in Shantarasa, knowing all the glorious pastimes of the Lord. Let us hear him. And everybody hears him with great pleasure, drinking every word. Age is not a criteria. Isn't it? This is ideally a great thing. But have you seen a university where a 16-year-old person is teaching PhD? You don't see that. So we are not so dynamic. We're very dynamic. And now look at the mother of Kapila, Devahuti. She's finding another extraordinary situation. Her son is very learned, and she asking a question with great humility. And this is the first question we should ask. And this is the first problem that we have. We are, even though we are not the body, we are soul, we are still identifying with the body. We still have false ego that what is false ego? I am the body. I'm still identifying with the body. And so why she is hearing Kapila? Because he is liberated from that. So the first sign of a person who is renounced is free from identification with the body. Yasyas buddhi krunape tidhatuke swadi kalatra dupom ijdi yat tirtha buddhi salalena karhecha janeshu vigneshu sa eva gokhara. It is somebody identifies with the body is the intelligence of an ass, donkey, gada. So she wants to come out of that donkeyness or gadaness, foolishness. She wants to pull herself out of that. And so why she is listening? Because she is listening to a realized soul. Therefore she is listening. You see, we hear Prabhupada lectures. Prabhupada lectures are actually very simple. If you want to learn from Prabhupada. Very simple lectures. But he speaks every word with full of realizations. Very simple. Simple one line. You are not this body. Speaks with full realization. Please believe me. I told you the statement, Prabhupada, when he came back, when the movement Prabhupada health broke down, he came back to India. And then he went back to America. When he came back to America, there was a huge gathering. They were so happy that they were not really sure Prabhupada will come back. And the movement was just beginning. So he needed to come back. He was back. After he recouped his health, he was back. And then, in the airport, they arranged a place for Prabhupada to sit, VIP lounge. Even now, all airports have. And then, Prabhupada was speaking to all of them. So Prabhupada looking at his hundreds of disciples, the beginning of the movement. And he says, please believe me when I tell you that you are not this body. Many devotees, if you see Prabhupada memories, they talk about this incident. They say, we heard him after a long time. But this very fundamental things Prabhupada is very focused on. I am not the body. Please believe me when I tell you I am not the body. That's where the spiritual life starts. So if this is not there, then where we have progressed, we should be convinced. So then, therefore, I always tell this joke that we say, I am happy. What is happy? Atom is happy, electron is happy, neutron is happy. What is happy? Your cell is happy. What is happy? Carbon is happy, hydrogen is happy. Happiness is an energy, is a nature of the soul. My electron is jumping in that. That's stupidness. Happiness, you know, I'm happy today. So you can know it is not the body, it is something else. That is the soul actually, which is happy. So person should identify with the self. And when he identifies with the self, a new life starts. Brahmabhuta prasannatma. The person becomes very peaceful and joyful. Na shochati na kanshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labate param. And the person can achieve complete peace and perfection. Mad bhakti labate param. In pure devotion. Now, as soul, we are part and parcel of the Lord. So Sanatana Goswami asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who am I? Says, Jivera Sarubhoy Krishnere Nityadasa. You are an eternal servant of the Lord. There is the Bhagavatam also definition of mukti is mukti hitva anata rupam sarupena bhavisitihi. Mukti means to become situated in our original constitutional position. Sarupena bhavisitihi. And what is Sarupa? Sarupa is Jivera Sarupa Krishnere Nityadasa. I am eternal servant of Krishna. Jiva Krishna Dasa e Vishwasha Karle Tara Dukhanai. My all unhappiness ends when I accept I am a servant of the Lord. Then Prabhupada, the purport is speaking something very interesting. He says that when you do any activity in which God is not there, that is sinful. Whatever it may be. Let us understand this. He said even so-called pious activities are sinful and not in connection to the Lord. The nature of the jiva is to be servant of the Lord. That is where the jiva is happy. But when we are doing an activity, except pure devotion service to the Lord, it is a proof of our revolt against the authority of the Lord. We have been told to do something, say, and you don't do that. It's a proof that you're revolting against the person who gave you the order. You do this and you don't do. In a mind, at least in mind, you are revolting. Why I will not do? Why I should not do? Why I should do that? Who is he to tell me? That's a revolt. So similarly, Krishna says, Sarvadhanaman parityacha mam ekam sharanam raja. You give up all so-called kind of orders. Dharma means duty, responsibility. Do one thing. Give up everything. Your one thing you should do. Mam ekam. Only me you should follow. That's what Bhagavad Gita Krishna is saying. Mam ekam. What is the meaning of sharanam? Sharanam means obey me. Sharanam doesn't just mean pay obeisance or don't follow God. Sharanam means obey me. So Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita very clearly, do not have to obey anybody. Mam ekam. You obey me only. Is telling or not? Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Mam means therefore Krishna, Acharyas. There is also Mam. Vaishnavas, Mam. Anna, you obey me. So when somebody is not obeying the Lord, isn't he revolting against the authority of the Lord? So anything except pure devotion service, even so-called pious activities in this world are sinful activities because they are proof of revolt against the authority of God. Krishna has given only one work, pure, loving, transcendental devotion service. That's all, nothing else. Manamana bhamata bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Krishna gave these orders. Why you don't follow them? Manamana, think about Krishna. Why you're not thinking? You're revolting against the order of Krishna. Krishna's order is Manamana, think about me. No, I'll not think about you. It's a revolt. It's a revolt. And revolt begins from here. Gajamila, instead of doing his activities in service to the deities, he was collecting flowers in the forest. He just thought for a while, let me look how this prostitute is enjoying with that man. Why are you thinking even of doing an activity? In what way seeing that prostitute and the man embracing was connected to service to Krishna? Has he come for that? His service was to collect flowers and offer to the deities. That is connected to Krishna. Hai na? Manamana. So seeing the prostitute embracing that man, where it is connected to service to Krishna, we have to become that level of strictness. And Maya just needs an opening, little opening like that. And then finished. Hai na? He forgot his service to Krishna. When he was seeing the prostitute embracing the man, where was Krishna at that moment? There was no Krishna at that moment. Was it doing it for service to Krishna? No. Was it that information any useful for service to Krishna? No. Then why he was interested in it? No, I'm just curious. I told you the famous example. I was in a college and when principal was blasting one boy. So I just happened to open the door. He was a very good friend of mine, that dean. I said, sir, can I come? Please come. I knew him from various colleges they shipped to. So what is happening, sir? You are so today agitated and shouting. Yeah, look at this boy. So what did he do? No, he was smoking one cigarette. So I asked him, what's your problem? Why are you smoking cigarette? No, sir, I was just curious. Just see. So why you're not curious? Why I'm born in this world? Why I'm not curious what will happen to me after death? Why I'm not curious that am I the body? Why I'm not curious that does God exist? This kind of curiosity will help you. And what is this curiosity? Let me see. So, let me try one drop of poison, like Ajamila. Let me see. No, I just want to do this. That is, don't play with fire. Don't play with fire. So any activity which is not in connection to service to the Lord, there is no protection there. Say you're walking. You can step on an ant and you can kill the ant. Are you ready for the sinful activity? Now the reaction is an elephant will hit on your head like the same way you will go to get. Are you ready for that reaction? No, I don't think I'm ready for the reaction. Correct? Tit for tat. So what should I do? Yes, walk for the pleasure of the Lord. When Bharat Maharaj was walking, he was careful, doesn't step on the ant. He was careful. The other fellow did not care. Tap, tap, tap. So as far as possible, devotee also takes a care that it doesn't give inconvenience to anybody in this world in his service to the Lord. But in case if somebody is inconvenienced, then Krishna absorbs him of that sin. Because he didn't do it for giving any discomfort to anybody. So Krishna protects you. But when we are acting not for service to Krishna, we're acting for our own pleasure, then be ready. Now you have to take the reaction. Very simple example. When a soldier fights for the country and he kills 100 soldiers on the other side, he gets Paramveer Chakra by the country. But if he comes home and kills one neighbor, he is hanged by the country. Because in first instance, he was working for the country. So similarly, when you are working for the Lord, you're absorbed of all the sin involved in that activity. That is Naivedya. What we are doing? You want to eat. But when you are eating, you may be as far as possible try. We take vegetarian food in which there is minimum sin. Correct? Fruits, no sin. Grains, again no sin. Plant is already dead. So as far as possible, you are trying to minimize the pain. As far as possible. In animals, the conscious more developed, more pain. Human being, more developed, more pain. Somebody is arguing, animals, plant also you are killing now. Then I'll kill you. Human meat is very tasty. That's why when a tiger tastes human meat, he stops eating animals. Carnivorous. He doesn't eat animals after that. How tasty. Now, this information, if the people comes to know, then you see the people will start killing, because people only goal is to enjoy. If they come to the human meat is the tastiest thing, then it's over. Then you see now left, right, center, all will become cannibals. But this we can understand from the tiger. Okay? So tiger, when he gets a taste of human meat, he stops eating animals. Oh, wow, how tasty. Then he starts eating only human being. Why he was telling? Anybody can tell me the track now? So now we are in a thought flow that anything which is done, which is not for the service to the Lord, is a sinful activity. Anything. Yeah. Thank you, Sarita Mataji. Anything. So we should be therefore very, very careful the activities that you are doing. Anything we do. So one should be very careful in that sense. I'm doing this activity. I'm thinking of this. I'm thinking something. Yes, sinful acts are nullified. Thank you. Somebody is at least listening here. Okay. So you're doing various activities and you're very careful and that I'm acting for the pleasure of the Lord, then there is no sin. But if you've forgotten God and doing any activity, I told you an example of the country, then you are accountable. Then you are trapped. Then you're trapped. Then you are in difficulty. So try to therefore follow the simple order of Krishna, Manamana. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna also, Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha. You remember me and then you fight. You remember me, then you fight. Do not fight by forgetting me. So always our consciousness should be Krishna conscious. Always our activity should be for the pleasure of the Lord. Madbhakto, Madhyaji, always we should be worshipping the Lord. And Mam Namaskuru, always offering obeisances to the Lord. So this is the instruction for 24 hours. And in this platform, if you live, then Ishopanishad said, then live forever. No problem. Otherwise, you see, it is said, it is good to live for few moments with proper consciousness than have a long life full of boredom. What is the use of a long life full of boredom? Why not a few moments on blissful Krishna consciousness? And that will come when you accept the instruction of Krishna. Manamanava madabhakto madayaji mam namaskuru. So, but moment you forget this principle and do any activity, even in thinking, in which there is no service to the Lord, then you are inviting Maya. Now be ready. Now be ready now for activities of, see, prescribed duties, but connected, no? Prescribed duties connected. Just like Srila Prabhupada, Guru ordered him, spread the Krishna conscious movement. He tried very patiently till 55 years of his life to engage his family to join him in the mission of his Guru. But they were not interested. His wife was totally not interested. So what does he do? He kept trying as much as the situation allows to preach the message of Krishna consciousness without the support of the family. But the moment you could see, the family can stop on its own leg and they are not interested in assisting him. Hare Krishna, he walked out of the house. If the prescribed means still what? Not that at the cost of service to Guru and Krishna, you're going to do prescribed duties. Not that. You try to adjust as far as possible. But they are opposed. Then Hare Krishna. Thank you. What is primary, what is secondary? That is very important. Not that till 90 years of my life, I keep engaged in my prescribed duty. Therefore, 50 years is a very nice time to hand over the responsibilities, and that's it. If the family is not interested, then I engage myself in spreading Krishna consciousness. First, myself taking full pleasure, just like you saw the situation of Vidura. Now, the Vidura was in a very obnoxious situation. As a gentle younger brother of Dhritarashtra, was very gentle, extremely learned, Vaidurika. He gave so much knowledge to Dhritarashtra, which is recorded as Viduraniti, just like Chanakya Niti, Vaidurikam. He gave so much knowledge to Dhritarashtra, very respectfully, humbly. He tried to educate her. Dhritarashtra used to actually appreciate his counsel, used to regularly call him for counsel, give me some advice, and hear him with pure. He knew he's a pure soul, speaking out of his well-wish, and used to hear his younger brother with great affection. But somehow, because of his too much attachment to his own son. So you may have a counsel even of a person like Vidura, but you need to make a decision to follow. Sometimes, therefore, Bhagavatam says, try to understand now, there's another point. There was a Bhagavatam says, Prahlad Maharaj says to his father, Matirina Krishna, you'll not become Krishna conscious. Even if you try, others try, everybody tries, because of your determination to become happy by sense enjoyment. So we have to make a decision. You may have very good association. You may have a counsel of a person like Vidura daily coming to you, very affectionately, with great respect and love, give you good advice. But you have to flap your own wing and fly. You cannot ask others, flap my wing, please. Correct? You have to make a decision. Just like Ajamila had father giving him so much spiritual knowledge. And at that moment, he saw the prostitute. He made the decision to get into that. He cannot blame his father. He cannot, Papa, please help me. Papa, please. You make a decision now. We gave you knowledge. Now you fly by your own wing. And you missed it. You slipped. Mistakes happen. You should have gone back to his father. Father, what do I do now? My mind is very agitated. Father would have pulled him out of that. He never took help of his saintly father. Never took help of any other saint. Then he's trapped. He's finished. So this is very important, that we take help. Anyway, so Vidura may be trying to help you. But if you are determined that I will become happy by only sense enjoyment, Vidura finally found a very obnoxious situation. So he did his prescribed duties. He did his prescribed duties to as long he could do. But the situation became intolerable when they started. Duryodhana also never had insulted him before that. He was very respected personality. He spoke very harsh words. Vidura was counseling Dhritarashtra that you have to do something about Duryodhana. This boy is going to destroy the whole kingdom. True? His activities one by one, one by one. In fact, he was protecting the Pandavas, knowing the sinful Kauravas are trying to eliminate them. He was the one who gave them the Lakshakriya, the knowledge, correct? Vidura. Even Yudhishthira Maharaj later recognizes like a bird and keeps his wing over the eggs, to protect them, give them warmth. The same way you protected us by your wings. Later he recognizes, in Bhagavatam these words are there. Tirtham kurvanti tirthani. My dear Vidura, you are such a great saint. You don't have to go to holy places. You can create holy places by your presence. Tirtham kurvanti tirthani. He uses the famous words for Vidura in that context. So Vidura again comes back after. So first thing, Vidura, it doesn't prescribe duty to the time it is possible. And after the situation becomes obnoxious, that he cannot even stay in that place, and they're ready for a fight. Because such kind of words spoken only replies the arrow. Or Yamadanda. Yamaraja is something called Yamadanda, which he also wanted to hit Ravana when he was doing too obnoxious, but he held it, Yamadanda, because he wanted Lord Rama to kill him. So Yamaraja has something called Yamadanda, his own weapon. He can finish. He could have finished Duryodhana that very moment. Vidura could have taken the form of Yamaraj, what he was, like Krishna showed Vishwarupa. Vidura could have taken the form of Yamaraj and killed that fellow at that moment. It was a great insult. True? In a Kshatriya family, Kshatriya cannot work with such kind of insult. So what did Vidura do? Okay. Fine. Thank you. Prescribed duty ended now. Now I cannot do my duty. At this kind of atmosphere doesn't allow me to do any duties. He did. So to the extent possible, he could have walked away first day. He tried. Till Srila Prabhupada also, till 55 years of his life, tried, counseling them, but nobody was interested. Nobody is interested. Hare Krishna. So there is a limit where it has to stop. If it is poisonous, the association. Not that till 90 years of life, I'd only do that. Then he came out. Then what did Srila Prabhupada do? What did he do after that? He took out the mission of his guru. In fact, Prabhupada guru used to come in his dream. Take sannyas, take sannyas, take sannyas. And Prabhupada used to look in the situation and say, how is it possible? I have a responsibility. So Prabhupada actually shows with great maturity how to handle things. It's a very good example of people in Kali Yuga. Very good example. True? Prabhupada got walked out of the situation 26 years when he got order from his guru. Hare Krishna, I got order from my guru. Thank you very much. Oh. He did his prescribed duties and 30 years he was patient. Sometimes I see some people, the situation, my wife is not supporting me or my husband and I'm impatient. Prabhupada waited 30 years. One day you cannot wait. Be patient. Be patient. Allow the situation to come wherein, somebody takes over your responsibility. And Prabhupada knew now I have no money. He had lost his money. Business is gone. I'm like a dog at home. Retired person is like a dog at home, to be honest. That's how this world is. Everybody is so materialistic. The day you retire, first you go to your office. Even your junior will not look at you. He'll not look at you. Because you no longer have any power. You will be shocked. Same place I worked for 20, 30 years. They have nobody interested in me. They were all interested in you. Even the ministers, the moment they lose the seat, nobody looks at them. When they have the power, there'll be 1,000 people every day outside their house. When they lose their MLA seat, nobody goes. He's an ordinary man. That's the reality of this world. So he understood Prabhupada. Now I'm like a dog at home. Nobody is looking at him. Nobody is interested in him. In fact, Prabhupada goes to Vrindavan and he has a joke. In the first Vrindavana Bhajana, he writes his reflections of life. He says, I have so many relatives. Just list of names. He says, there's just list of names. Because I have no money now, nobody is interested in me. He sees the reflection of life. The hard truth of world. Hard truth of the real nature of this world. When he lost his business, everything, he wrote letters, proper letters are there. Please save my honor. I'm not able to pay my salary to my employees and everything. Prabhupada understood Krishna's will. Everything is smashed now. There was a theft in his factory. He lost his, agency. Everything was negative, lost. So he saw Krishna's will. And he said, okay, fine. So in that way, prescribed duties, not beyond what Krishna is willing you, not should be, I want to accelerate. I want to advance in my devotional service. That should be my primary business. Okay. Hare Krishna. Anything else today? Okay. Yeah, devotee does not give inconvenience. Yes, some people are listening. But now my neighbor wants to put a borewell. You can hear the sound. Yeah, so that is what is it. So person doesn't give inconvenience. So therefore we are vegetarian. We give minimum inconvenience as far as possible. You cannot, that are developing the argument of meat, then it went to beef, because some people argue this, that vegetation also you're killing. So that we say minimum inconvenience, and minimum inconveniences that take vegetarian food, offer it to the Lord, and then take Krishna Prasad. Okay. Hare Krishna. Take a thank you, everybody. Pancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubevacha patitanam pavaneva vaishmanava. There is a lot of borewell work going on today, so it will disturb you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.